Hello and welcome to Bawdsey in Suffolk. You can see, looking around me, this is a rough ground haven. I've walked all the way up from East Lane to the right hand side under the cliffs. Because it's like an easterly blowing, the sea's chopping up, the sea is coloured to anything, and I know this area might be good for a bass. Well, I know it's good for a bass because this is the second intro I've just done, because I just did one, and while I was doing that the rod hooped over. I had one about 45 centimetres, but the camera weren't rolling, and I thought it had filmed everything, and it hadn't. Yay. So, second time. Hopefully we get some more and I can get the next few on camera for you. This area here, out there, is absolute rough ground as anything. There's boulders out there. There's like an undulating clay bottom, which looks like the lunar landscape. And you can see behind me, there's tank traps that have all been broken out of the ground and washed up, and those used to be bedded in. The last time I come down here about a year ago, they were all in the ground. They were all solid, they were all just sitting there. And as you can see, coastal erosion, they have now washed out. I've walked down a little bit further than what I normally would, because this is a deeper area. It's very shallow up there, very lots of white water. But I wanted to come down to a deeper area because I'm filming. If I was up there, I'd be holding the rod, I'd be walking around, I wouldn't be able to do the filming as much. So I've come down here. And now I'm really hoping I get another fish, because that didn't film, and I tell you something, if I don't get another one, I'm going to be extremely upset, because that was the perfect start to the session. As you can see, I've only got one rod. Was meant to be fishing two. Got down here, realised I'd left my fixed spool at home for my close-in rod. So, one rod it is. But to be honest with you, I normally only ever fish one rod down here anyway. I was only going to go on two for you lot at home. So, peeler crab is all I've got for bait in the rough ground at Bawdsey. Let's see if we can get some more bass and actually get some on camera for you. It's now about 2.5 hours up, maybe 3 actually, and this normally fishes best 3 up, 3 down, because of the volume of water comes in, the fish can then come in and start feeding. So I'll be here till about 7:30 tonight. Up and down. I'll probably end up behind us a little while up on the cliffs, because I think this water will push me off. Let's see if we can get some bass on camera for you, actually on camera, down here at Bawdsey. That's now the 3rd cast out. Basically, I was doing a little piece on camera for you yet again, had a smashing bite on the 2nd cast, and I hadn't pressed record. Oh, I had pressed record, but it hadn't started recording again. I'm hitting the record button, it's flashing up, and then it's stopping. It's working now. So if I'd had a fish, that'd have been another fish I thought I had on camera, and I didn't. But anyway, like I say, I've walked down here today from East Lane car park. That's about 20 minutes that way. You walk to the right of the car park, you follow the track down, see a gap in the bushes. You walk through the bushes, you then walk round the corner to the left-hand side onto the beach. Down there, it's a lot shallower. And like I said, if I was down there today, I wouldn't have been able to film, because I'd have been rolling crab around close in the surf, because it is very surfy. Can't really film like that. And this area here, it comes off and it just deepens off a bit as it goes round the corner. It does hold the fish. In the summer, I've had some, this is one of my favourite places in Suffolk to fish, it really is. In the summer, I've had some amazing sessions in here. Hounds, rays, bass. But with the easterly wind blowing today, I thought I'd come down here. And like I say, the fish are here. I've had one already, even though it's not on camera, so believe what you want to believe. But I have had one. Hopefully they'll be here throughout the session. What I'm doing today, I'm fishing, this area is best fish 3 up, 3 down. Water comes in, you can then fish it 3 up to the other side, 3 down the other side. Sometimes 3 down the other side, it becomes too snaggy closer to the 3 down. So sometimes it's only 2 down, but I'm going to be here till about 7, 8 o'clock tonight, depending on how it fishes, how it pans out. And all I've got today is peeler crab, because that is what the bass love, and that is what the bass want. That's another bite. Come on, go over. I know you're bouncing, go over. Probably little bass that's having a go of it. Until that smacks over like it did on the first one, I'm not going to blooming hit it. But they're there. They're out there. The fish are here. Thank goodness for that. In Suffolk. What a surprise. Maybe this video might be one of the ones that actually people watch and think, oh, that's good fishing in Suffolk, rather than sitting there going, I ain't going there because it's absolutely rubbish. Doggies and stuff like that, etc. Wouldn't have thought there'd have been so many doggies here today, which is why I've come here in daylight, because at night time you can come down here, I'm not going to lie. And this can be absolutely insane for doggies. I've had sessions here before where I'm casting out, and as I'm walking back within seconds, the rod's doing that in my hand with dogs. You know, and you can have 30, 40 dogs in a session, and in the end you just think, what's the point? I'm wasting my bait. Just see if that rod goes over again. But there we go. Stick with me through the video. Hopefully, we'll have some silver on camera for you, some more silver on camera for you throughout the video. You never know. I'll be devastated if we don't, because don't really want to catch a fish first cast and think you filmed it and be all excited. I was like, oh, bloody hell, you know, coming back, yes, what a start to the video, fish straight away. And then you look on it and it's not even been filming. Oh dear. Like I say, I'll go through the video, I'll show you more bits of what I'm doing, baiting up with peeler crab. A lot of it, everyone's doing the baiting up with peeler crab videos, but I'll include a little section in this. If you don't like that, but you can just fast forward through it. It's the same for every single person. Basically, everyone baits up the same, basically. Yeah, basically everyone baits up the same with peeler crab, so there's not really much more we can do. That tip keeps banging. I'm going to stay with you for a little minute to see if we can get another bite. It might be weed, but I wouldn't have thought so. All right. Come on. Give me something to dance to. Like I say, that might be weed. It's not actually banging me out or anything like that when it comes to the bites. The bite I had earlier was a proper smack, smack, bang. You know, proper bass bite. But that's not really doing too much at the minute. Anyway, I'll leave that as it is. And if we get anything else, I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, let's watch that rod tip, because that's just smacked over quite hard. It's not gone slack or anything like that, but that did just solidly bang over once, which says they're out there grabbing at the bait, but obviously they're not hooking themselves yet. Nope. Missed that one. But they're there. That is the main thing. We know they're out there. Well, as you saw, that was another bite I just missed. And all I'm doing today, as you can see, I'm fishing pulley rigs. Because if I hook a fish in here, I want to get it up in the water over the stuff that's close in, because there is a lot of clay, like I say, a lot of broken bits of boulders, tank traps, etc. But I'm not clipping it down when I'm casting it out. So mainly the pulley is there to get the fish in, but when I'm casting it out, I'm leaving it unclipped. And it's just a straightforward, straight over the top, out there. Yes, it works, 100% it works, trust me. People will say, why are you doing that? It's mainly to get the fish in when they come close in, like I say. And they are still there. So I'm hoping, like I say, throughout this session, they stay there. That wasn't a solid bite, no, that was more like a rattle. So I'm saying that's little basslets just grabbing at the bait, little tiny ones, pulling it out. You'll know as soon as you get a bite in here from a bass, because that just smack, because it's shallow water. That's another reason I'm not clipping down, because it's shallow. If I clip down and cast out, it might only be that deep. So by the time that lead hits the water, that might not unclip. So that's another bait out. I think that's about 4th cast now. Like I say, I've had a bite every cast, which so far is very good. But these bass may just switch off, which isn't very good. Now, as you can see, that water's coming in a bit, so I might have to move back a few feet. Just bring it up, probably onto the sand over there, so you'll probably see a change of scenery in a minute from when I'm doing the filming. But so far, it's blooming lovely. Just need a bass. Another one. See, if I was by myself, I'd have took photographs and stuff like that, but I resort to the camera to get photographs because I take screen dumps off it and screenshots. And if that's not filming, you've got no record of the fish you've caught. But hey ho, it is what it is. That is what it is, doing videos for YouTube. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But it's still looking bassy, the water's coming in. Might even pick up a ray today, you never know. I wouldn't have thought so because I'm not casting out too far. I'm not going to say it. There's always a chance, I'm going to say it. There's always a chance of an early hound in here as well. This is one of the first places they turn up in Suffolk, this area here, because that area out there is just full of crab. It is just absolutely teeming with crab. And those hounds come in here, but it's a small tide, easterly wind. I wouldn't have thought, to be honest with you, we'd see one, but you do never know. If that rod just decides to javelin off the rest, then we know we've got one. It's either that or a 12-pound bass, but I don't think it's going to be a 12. Well, you never know. There could be a 12-pound bass. 12-pound whiting, mate? Nah, not a whiting. No, I don't whiting. And like I say, it's daylight, so the doggies should be holding off. So let's see if these silverfish come back. I think that rod's just got a little bit slack. It did bang a couple of times. And it sort of slackened off a bit. There we go, one more slack. Oh, I hope this is a fish. Come on. I think I missed that one as well, for crying out loud. What is going on here? Or did I? No, I didn't miss that one. That's just surfing in on the waves. Look at that, eh? On camera, Bertie number 1. Not the biggest. Now the reason that felt like I hadn't hooked it is because of the surface running. Because it's running close in, it's very, because it's shallow, there's quite a lot. There we go, look at that, eh? Only a little one. The other one I had before was twice the size of that, but they're still there, and that's all that matters. Like I say, the reason I don't think I am hooking them, but the reason it feels like they're not on there is because there's a surf running, there's a lot of like water moving about. So as you're reeling it in, that's just getting washed about in the water. So you've got to really keep up tight with it to feel that they're on there. Bass number 1 on camera, bass number 2 for me. Thank goodness for that, yes. So, get another peeler crab on. Let's get that. That's just banged and slackened off again. At the minute, it's a bite a cast, which is pretty decent for Suffolk at this time of year, it really is. They're out there, they're hitting the bait. Come on, go again. We definitely know they're there now, obviously. Like I say, I've had 2 fish, and that just bang, 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 come back again. Like that, there we go. question is it on? Come on. Now what I'm doing now is, because these bites are so... Oh, I missed it. No, I haven't. All right, no, I haven't. Yeah, I have. Because these bites are so not finicky, I don't really want to lose the fish in the rough. So as soon as I see a bite, I'm picking up that rod and I'm holding it tight to it, and because they're slack lining me, I'm literally feeling that rod. See if that rod starts coming back. If it starts coming back, you wind into it, you got a fish, in theory. If it pulls over, yet again, you wind into it, you should have a fish. Now I'm putting that straight back out because that crab's only been out 5 minutes. And it's still got the hook showing and it's still looking good. So, straight back out to where it was. No point wasting the crab. I reckon there's a lot of small fish out there, but with that first fish I caught, that was getting into the sizable category, so they are there. It's just a case of getting through these little ones and finding them. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer, like I say I normally do, see if it smacks over or not. But with, like I say, this being rough ground, I've had it so many times in here before where you get bites and you leave them to develop. Like slacks, you tighten into it, slack, tighten into it like you normally would. And that fish has moved that lead round into something and then it'll whack over, you'll hit it and you're straight into a snag. Which is why, like I say, I'm picking it up and I'm holding it, I'm feeling it, and you can just feel, like you can feel the rod. If you keep tight to it, you can feel if it kicks round, straight into it, and you can feel if that then comes loose, and if it keeps coming loose, coming around, wind down, and reel in. It's just a way of getting an instant feel with the fish as soon as it goes over. Whoa, this is brilliant. I'm loving this. This place normally fishes better on the ebb as well, believe it or not. Now it's a smallish tide today. Down here, if you're gonna come down here, never fish it on a super large tide or a spring. Not because you'll get pushed off, but because it's so shallow, there's a river mouth to the right-hand side, and that water pushes out of that river mouth, it hits the shallow water, and it just speeds up. And I'm telling you, you cast out with a 7 and you're round, straight away round. And you can only fish certain parts of the tide when it's like that, because you can't hold bottom. You're better fishing this on smallish to building tides. And like I say, the fish are here. Just need some more on camera, but I've got ages left yet. I think, not gonna lie, because of how poor the fishing's been here recently, and I'm trying to do the YouTube, now I've found some fish, there's a little pinch of anxiety there, because I now know the fish are here. And I know I can catch them, but it's not like my recent videos where I've been going out thinking, right, I'm gonna make a video, let's see what happens. Sit there for a couple of hours, get a dog, oh, see a ray, couple of good bites, and that's it. That's a bite a cast at the minute here, like I say, and I don't really want to be missing them as such. So if I seem a little bit, not erratic, but a little bit more pumped up than what I usually am, sit back and chilled, it's because I know the fish are there, and it's now just a case of, right, bang, try and get it, bait out, try and get it. In a way, it's sort of speed fishing, because I'm not sitting down, cutting a crab, I'm like, bam, 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 get it out, bam, 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 get it out. I'm not double patting, because the problem with double patting with crab is, you tie it up, double patting is when you have a second rig made up. You'll tie it up and you'll have it hanging from the rest, and them juices are slowly dripping out of it. And you're losing a lot of the juice from the crab before you even cast it. So before I cast on this, I'm getting the crab, I'm cutting it, it's literally before I wind in, winding it in, Off, bait on, wrapped up, out again. Whoa, brilliant. And that tide is pushing up. I think, I say, we are going to be up on the cliff at some point very soon. But that's not an issue. The cliff's literally 2 feet behind me there. And you can fish off it perfectly well, so yeah. And like I say, I've got a little step down bit, so if I do get a 20-pound bass, 20-pound bass, imagine that. British record broken on camera on YouTube. Nah, that's not going to happen, is it? You never know, might get a 3 or 4 pounder. Be nice if we did. But even the small fish, it's sport. And the fish are there, like I say. So yeah, all good. Oh, another little, that's a bass. Look at that, eh? It's not taking long at all. There's a lot of fish out there, a lot of bass out there, and like I say, that is a smaller fish grabbing it and just making it bounce. We'll know if we got a decent fish, because that M4 GT will just smack. But at this moment in time, the small fish are keeping that rod tip moving. And then like I say, we've still got the ebb to come. And the ebb is where it should, I'll say it should, you watch, it will be absolutely dead. The ebb is where it should kick off in it. Hopefully. He says. You never know. We've still got some time left. There is still time for a decent fish. And that's a slightly better one, isn't it? Hey? Smacked over completely. Obviously I weren't filming at that point. Didn't have a chance to turn the camera on because that started to really hold over, and there he is. Lovely fish. It is Bass City in here today. It really, really is. What an absolutely stunning fish that is. Right, I'm going to get this one back, get another crab out. Those fish are mega on the feed today. There you go. Go on, mate. Off you go. Yes. Oh, get in. Keep an eye on this rod because that's just banged over a couple of times. There we go. There's definitely something there. Having a little play around. A couple of shimmies. Give me another thump. I don't really want to see bangs like that. As you can see, I'm going to get pushed off here very soon. I think after this cast, I think I'm going to jump up on the cliff and fish off there because I'll be comfortable then. I can set up a little base camp and fish it until it starts going down, which will probably be 2 hours after high. Because at the minute, that's another thing here as well, is you fish here in this area, you get trapped on the beach. There is no way at all of getting off left or getting off right. It's a little tiny knock-knock. Come on. And the only way out would be up the cliffs. And to be honest with you, I could probably get out the cliffs that way. However, it is dodgy. It's really sandy. The cliffs are really sandy. I've come down here before, and rather than walking down the cliffs, I fell down the cliffs with my seat box and everything on. Ended up on the bottom like a turtle on my back. And there was 2 old ladies walking a dog, and they just sat there staring at me as they walked past. And I said, "You right?" And I'm laying there. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine." Right, come on. Once more. I think I've got one on. Not quite sure. No, I think I missed that one as well. Or did I? No, he might be there. He's there. One of the smaller bass varieties. However, at this moment in time, yeah, this is what I'm on about. There is a lot of smaller ones in it, which are grabbing the bait, plucking at the bait. However, like I say, you've always got a chance in here of a decent fish. Another little one. Beautiful little fish. Look at that, absolutely perfect. But that is why I'm getting all the little knocks, because there's little basslets like this. Oh, by me. Out, he spiked me. there's all little basslets like this grabbing at the crab. And that's what's given me all the little knocks and bangs. That's why I don't want to keep hitting it so straight away, because they'll be smacking it, they'll be coming away, they'll be smacking it. I'm using a 3/0 hook, so it is quite a big hook. However, it's working. I think that's 4 now in total, 3 on camera. Not bad for the Suffolk coast in April. All right, so I lied. I've had one more cast down here before I go up. As you can see, the water's pushing right up, and that rod keeps twanging. It slackened off a little bit earlier, and now it just keeps giving little knocks. So I'm saying there's a little bass playing with it, or it's hooked. But until that bounces right over, just got to keep an eye around me, make sure nothing's going to get swept away, because the last thing I want is for my peelers to get washed away. To turn around and see the bucket just floating off into the sea with the crabs jumping out. No, we're free. Then again, if they jumped out here at the minute, it gets smashed by bass, so they wouldn't survive very much if they got an escape to freedom. Come on. But what a day so far. It's now an hour before high. I think high is around about 4:30, 20 to 5. So like I say, probably stay till around about 7, 7:30, that's depending on how snaggy it gets, because on the ebb, for some reason, this place can become really snaggy, just the way the water's flowing. This area here, obviously I reckon there's more stuff to the left-hand side. And if it does start running hard, you end up getting snagged every cast, which you don't really want in there, to be honest with you. You don't want to be losing tackle. Not using rotten bottoms or anything, but I'll come to that in a minute. Once I get up there and get settled, I'll show you what I'm using tackle-wise, rig-wise, and I'll give you a little rundown of how to bait up a peeler crab as well. That rod tip has stopped twanging and banging. But you can see what I mean. If you look down there now, if you were to walk out of there, yes, you'd get out, but you'd get wet feet. And that side there, the water is right up to where the fallen down tree is, which I'm fishing beside. Come on, go over, show me what you were doing a little while ago. What a day so far, eh? 4 bass. Don't get me wrong, they're not massive, but fish are fish. A lot of baby ones in here, lots of baby ones, but you know full well they're a shoaling fish. Where there's little tiny ones, the bigger ones will be in there as well. There's no two ways about it. I know full well, probably along this little stretch of beach at the minute, there's going to be 5s and 6s swimming around in here. But it's just getting them. Like I say, I fish this beach a heck of a lot. It is my favourite part of the Suffolk to fish. It's just, in the summertime, once it gets warmer, this can produce some amazing fishing. You can come down here and you can have your rod screaming all night. In the summer, we're more likely to fish it 2 up, 3 down. Normally after the tide turns, you'll get rays within the first hour to... It's weird. You can set your watch bite in here, and I know it sounds stupid. I know people sit there and say, what a load of rubbish, but you can. Once you fish this place enough, you know you can get rays over high to 1 hour and a quarter down, and then once they go, you'll get your hounds come through, and as it goes down lower, the bass will start feeding again. But it is a bit of a walk. You can fish further up, like I say, it is good up there, but you'll lose a lot of tackle. Or like I say, you can come down these cliffs behind me, which I'll just show you quickly. These are the cliffs, which, you know, yes, they're accessible, don't get me wrong. However, if you fall down, it hurts. Trust me, it hurts. Well, I'm going to reel that in. I'm going to move my stuff up the top there because that's been out a little while now. Maybe they've gone off the feed for a minute. Which they do in here. Hang on. I might have a fish on here. I might not as well. Or it could be weed. You do get a lot of weed come through as well. Especially on the ebb. You get a lot of weed come through here. Nah, nothing on there. Which can also make this place unfishable. Oh, looks like I've had an eel out there tackling my bait. You see the slime on that? That's from an eel. Still, we don't want them. And it has tangled me up a little bit. That was what was giving me the pull downs. And it wouldn't be a conger, it's just a normal, common eel. Right, I'm gonna get myself up there. I'll see you in a minute once I'm set up. Et voila. And as if by magic, watch my foot, I'm up on the cliff. Lower part of the cliff, still got access to the beach. I've got a little bit in front of me. If I get a half decent fish, I can literally walk down there and grab it from down there. All other fish can just come up here. Some people fish off the top of these cliffs. No names mentioned, Tom. And they have some good sessions, but I want to be down here. I couldn't go up there and do that. But from up here now, I can see there's a lot of weed floating about. A heck of a lot of weed. I'm hoping that disappears. You can just see it on the surface. Not massive amounts, but rafts. Here, there, and everywhere, which if they get caught up in the line, will cause issues. But so far, so good. So now I've got a little base camp set up. I'm going to be up here now for probably 2.5 hours. Water's not going to come up here. It's quite comfortable. I can sit back and chill. The bass are sort of turned off a little bit now. Probably come on, like I say, it's an hour before high, so they'll probably go off now for another hour, and then an hour again after high and go down. But it gives us the opportunity to maybe see a different sort of fish. You know, maybe a ray or something like that might come through. But then also you've got eels, you know, which are early. I've forgotten eel. I like eels. I like big eels. I don't like little eels. But the snot on the line there said there was one in here. Perfect holding ground for them. They love this sort of area. But like I say, it's not congers. Unfortunately, it's just little common bootlacy type things. But you know, I've seen them here about £3 from this sort of coastline. So you do never know. Right, it's time to kick back, chillax, rest a little bit because the bites aren't coming as fast and furious now. Half an hour soak time each cast and keep fishing until we start seeing the bites again. Watch the rod tip, there we go, see? I reckon that's another little tiny one. I don't think there's anything on there. There might be. That had been going a couple of minutes before I struck into it then. It's not weed. See the weed down there. Oh, hello. I think I do have a fish, and I do. But the question is, what is it? Another little basslet. There we go. So they are still feeding. Happy days. And it's not an eel. Which wouldn't have been disastrous. There we go. Another little one to add to the tally. Pristine fish. Absolutely beautiful. The bass stocks are coming back fantastically. They really are. Right. I'm going to go and slip this one back. That's a little bit more slinky. Not a bad little fish though. Lovely little fish. Right, get this one back and get another bait out. Well, it's now more or less high tide, which means there's no flow at all out there, but I am getting continuous rattles on the rod tip, which means to me there's something playing around with the bait. It's gone a couple of times so far. But the question is it going to take the crab? Or is it just little fish pecking around it? Now it's high tide and there's no rum, it's going to be quite hard to hook these fish, probably for an hour or so until the run starts going the other way. Because that bait will just be sitting there flapping about in the water. It won't have no pressure against it at all. So the fish will just be grabbing it and they can drop it. There's a less chance of them being hooked over slack water. And like I say, there's a lot of weed come past that way on the flood. And the ebb runs the other way. So I'm hoping that weed doesn't come back. Because if it does, it might cause a bit of a problem with a higher tide flow, but who knows? Because like I say, that ebb does run harder in here because of the fact there's a river mouth down there. Yeah, like I say, it's just little fish mouthing the bait. Proper little bang, bang, bangs they were. But obviously it's not going anymore. Come on. Like I say, always a chance of a ray here over high as well. We'll soon know if we've got a ray because they absolutely bite like crazy in here. The ray bites in here are like hound bites. The amount of times I've seen a 4 or 5 pound ray nearly take someone's rod in here is absolutely insane. Yet again, because it's shallow water. Come on, go again. Nah, doesn't look like whatever it is going to hook itself. It's cooling up a bit as well now. It was really nice a little while ago. That easterly's still blowing in, but I think because of the clouds have come over and the sun disappeared, it's chilled up. However, I've got a jumper in there, so I'll stick a jumper on if it gets that cold. Come on, fish. Give me another little bite. But it's alive with them in here today. It really is. Bites every cast. Yes, I've failed to hook some of them. Some of them I have got in. And yes, some of them aren't the biggest. But it is nice to see the bass population. I wouldn't say exploding. Exploding's a big word. But it's a lot better than what it was. A lot better than what it was. Obviously, we had the ban on bass, I think it was, a few years ago. That's obviously done the stocks a lot of good. And now you've got a lot of basslets. But like I say, there is always a chance in here of a big one. There really is. It's the perfect area for them, perfect ground. Oh, well, that's not going to come to anything. Right, I'll give it another 5 minutes and then I'm going to change the bait over. Give you a little baiting demonstration. And then hopefully soon we'll be back down there, because I don't really like fishing up here. It's nice and comfortable, but I'd rather be on the beach. Really would. But right, give that a little while longer to soak, and then I'll reel it in. It's now high tide out there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a baiting up video. Now it's going through the high tide stage, just because I know them fish will not be biting as much. And then once that ebb starts flowing, they will probably come back on the feed. So like I say, today, I'm using peeler crab. And to bait up a peeler crab, you need to get all the shell off. Now, first things first, you've got to make sure that crab is either dormant or dead. Humanely kill it, mainly put like a knife or something through the back, just in front of the eyes, just to make sure it's dead, because you don't really want to be ripping legs and arms off and stuff while it's still alive. Now, the first thing you want to do with this is you want to take the legs off and the arms, and what you're then left with is that. You'll bring it down to that. Now, what I do is I crush the back shell. I then take the shell off. I know some people prefer to leave the shell on. Mr. Tom Bagnall, I'm talking to you, but everyone has their own way of doing it. And then what you have is, you have the bottom bit. You then peel the shell off that. You see these two bits here? Make sure you get them off, because if you forget to take them off, they can be an absolute nightmare for masking your hook. Trust me, been there, I've done it. You bring it in and it's that last little bit of shell round the mouth. But obviously, mask your hook and you don't get a fish. And then what you're left with is this. And what I do, you have the legs, snip the leg bits off, just to get rid of any other bony pieces. And then all you're left with is a lovely bit of crab. Now, this is a rather large-ish crab, so I'm going to be fishing with this and cutting it in half. Big ones you can cut in a, smaller ones, sorry, you can cut in a V and flap them out, but that is now in 2 halves. Now what I then do, if I can see it, it's there, got my rig. Now like I say today, I'm using pulleys, got 80-pound body, 6-ounce lead, 20-pound snood. Fishing to a single fine wire hook. Now I like using fine wire in here because if you catch on the anything rough out there, you can pull and that hook will bend out and you'll get everything back. Then all you do, you just tie another hook on. And then with this, you got the crab, you see? Now I come through the bottom of the crab, and where one of the leg sockets were, I'll come through that. Then the hook will sit like that. Go through the leg sockets because it gives you something solid to hold it against. Then all I do, got my Innova bait elastic. I'm getting used to this now. This stuff's quite good actually, to be honest with you. And then, with the crabby crab, turn the hook so it's proud, like so. Then get the elastic and just bind it on. Always making sure that hook sits proud. Because the last thing you want is that hook turning into your bait and not being proud. Not proud as in pride or anything like that, but proud as in sitting out. So you see it sitting like that, and then what I do is I come up to the top, and then once that's on there, I'll bind that tightly. Now the best thing to do as well, where the eye of the hook is at the top, put quite a lot of elastic around that, because that will hold that hook in place. Now that, if you can see, is a perfect crab bait. Half a crab, perfect for an ear. You may not think it looks much, but that bait will get you absolutely anything. Right, I'm going to get this up, I'm going to flick it out. The ebb will start flowing soon, and hopefully we might see a couple more fish. It's been about 5 minutes since I put that bait out, and I'm getting bangs out there. Nothing positive, just little bounces, so it could even just be whiting or pouting, to be honest with you. That's why I don't really like putting it out too far in here, unless it is warmer weather, westerlies. Westerlies in here. You come down here on a westerly, I'll tell you something, May, June time, that is when you'll see the fish. On a building tide, a lot better, but that's just started banging, like I say, from putting it out there, so. There's fish out there. Only little rattles so far though. But that's a lot more than what I was getting close in. It really is. Might even pick some bass up out there, you never know. I mean, like, it is quite shallow all the way out. But it does go on the sand out there, which is why the chance of a ray is there, to be honest with you. It's a decent bait. That's a fish, I reckon. Probably a, there we go, probably a whiting, but you never know. Hopefully not a dog. Because we don't really want to be casting out there for dogs, to be honest with you. Come on, slacken me off, or pull it round. I'd say there's something there. Is there something there? Yeah, there is something there. Or is there? He keeps saying it goes heavy, it goes light, it goes heavy, it goes light. Don't think there's anything there. Oh, there could be actually. No, nothing there, right. Bit of weed though, around the lead knot. Time to try half a crab and put that out there. Because there's definitely something out there biting. Maybe a whole crab is too big. I'm going to put this one back out at distance, much smaller bait this time. Maybe I was hoping a little bit too much for using a big bait, you know. At the end of the day, you've got to try it, ain't you? You've got to give it a go. See if there's anything out there. And there is. But the question is, what are they? I'm probably still saying pout or something like that, to be honest with you. There's not much of a tide run either though, which is a little bit shocking, because I thought even though it's a small tide, once this ebb comes through, I thought we might have had a bit of run. But there's not. Right, I'm going to see how this one goes. If I get a fish this cast, I might try another one out further, but we're now starting to shallow off in here, which means it will start roughing up a little bit as it starts rolling over the clay and stuff like that. It's in close, which means the bass may turn back up. Probably got about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to go till I decide to go back, depending on how it fishes. That one's out there. See if we can pick something up this cast. There you go, the bass have obviously moved further out because that is from the cast I just put out. Didn't really give me much of a bite, it just pulled over and rattled a few times, but it just shows it might have to be half a crab at distance from now on. See if we can pull some more out. I'm going to get this little one back and get another bait out. It just shows the ebb has pushed those fish out, which is really weird. Really small crab baits now. Let's see what we can pick up out there. If the bass are there, there could well, like I say, be other fish as well. But that water is emptying out of here massively, really fast. Really, really fast. Another one out there, not as far as the other one, but it's a lot further than what we were fishing. Now let's see what this cast produces. That's mad. The ebb has literally pushed them out a lot further. Don't know why that is, but like I said to you just now, it shows this pays off. If you're not catching close in, try a different distance because the fish may well be there. Probably pick up the doggy in a minute as the light fades. As soon as we do pick up a doggy, that'll be a case of coming in close, because once there's one out there, there will be absolutely swarms of them. And we don't want that. That's a waste of time. That rod tip just started bouncing again then. Nothing big, probably more little basslets, but it is a small bait. So hopefully we'll be able to pick something up. It's now all about just trying to pick up what we can before we go. Hopefully you can see that bouncing. If it does it one more time, that fish is mine. Oh, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Come on. There's definitely no weed on the line. So that's not what's making it bounce. Come on. Is that moving or is that me? I think my mind's playing tricks on me. I'm seeing that rod slowly pull over. Definitely fish out there. I'm having a pop at it. There we go. A little bingle bangle. Dingle dangle. That's going to be another little basslet. Whatever it is, it's definitely playing around with it. Come on. Don't think there's anything on that one. Apart from a snag, which I'm now out of. That's what I mean, once the ebb starts in here, it does become mega snaggy, even just winding in. And I don't know why it does that. It's just the way of the lay of the land. Yep, nothing on there. Right, hook's turned over on itself, which isn't very good. Right, I'm going to get this sorted out. That close-in cast didn't really come to much. There's a couple of little rattles, and it's now coming up to about 7:15, so I think I'm going to make this my last cast. I'm going to put this one out again, because it seems to be more fish further out. He says. But we'll see what happens. On this cast. If this gets a fish, I might have one more. But I'm going to give this 20 minutes because we're now coming up to nearly 3 hours down. And that is when I don't really like to fish past in here because it gets really snaggy. On a big tide, that would now be probably a lot further down than what it is. And you'd probably be talking Snag City by now. Because it's a small tide, the tides are holding up a little bit more. So, we'll see on this cast. Like I say, could be the last one, might not. See if we can get something decent on. Sorry I didn't get the bite on camera for you. And that was the cast I just did that I said was going to be my last cast. However, I may now do another cast because that is not a bad little fish at all. Well, that is the end of the session. And if it looks a little bit different, that's because it is, because I'm now filming the last little bit on my phone because the GoPro, yet again, has decided to start playing up. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed filming it because it's lovely getting some fish on the beach. Don't get me wrong, nothing big. However, it's what we came for. The bass are in. Hallelujah, Suffolk has finally produced. So, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet done it, hit the subscribe button, give it a like, leave a comment as well. I'll reply to every comment that gets left. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going home to have a shower and relax. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you by the water very soon.